Welcome back. So this is our lecture number 4, week 3. And what we have studied in the last lecture is this. We have HTML document, basic structure. Everything is that is written inside the HTML code is in the HTML tags, opening and closing. And inside we have two main tags, head and the body. And then body contains the main element that we want to display on the page. Then we talk about the elements and tag. What is the element? What is a tag? We have self-closing tag. We have opening and closing tags. We have the H1 tag, paragraph, hyperlink, and image. These are the tags that we have seen before in the last lecture. And then we also see that we have some practical part that is also available in the YouTube channel. So you can see that as well if you want to. So today we will talk about more attributes. Remember in the A tag, the hyperlink tag, we have to specify the href element, href attribute of that element. And if we don't specify, it will be considered as a simple text. It will not be converted into a hyperlink or the clickable link. Okay. Similarly, if we don't specify the source property of the image, then it will not display anything on the page because we didn't specify which image we want to display on the page. Okay. So if we want to display an image on the page or we want to create a hyperlink, then we have to specify those properties. So every element that you can see inside the HTML, you can see that there are some additional information that we can provide as a properties or the attributes of that elements. And those attributes can be like this, href tag. It's coming in the low part. And similarly, if we have an image, then we can specify the source property or the source attribute, and then we can also specify the height attribute or the height property. Okay. So these are the properties which give some additional information about that element. Source tell that which image we want to display, and height will specify the size. If it is very big, then it will become a little bit smaller as compared to the size that we have mentioned here. Again, we can have zero attributes. For example, in the paragraph tag, we don't specify any attributes, so it's zero attribute. Or we can have more attributes. So it is not necessary. Even in the image, we don't specify anything. Of course, it will not display anything on the image on the page, but we can write an image tag without any attribute. So either you have a no attribute or you have more attributes, 1, 2, 3, 4, depending on the element that you want to use. So in the image, we have the source, which specify the image that we want to display. Height and width represents the size of that image. Alt is a alternate text. If the image is not available, then it will display that alternate text. And then, of course, this will also be used for the accessibility feature. It means that if some blind person is looking at your page, then this text will be read aloud by the system to tell the person that what he is looking at. Yes. Does it have to be a text? Can it be like an image? No, it cannot be. It has to be an image. It is an alternate text. It is not something which is like you can another image you can put it over there. No. As a properties of the elements of the attributes, we cannot specify another tag. No. It will be some value, some number, some string, but it cannot be another tag as a value for the attributes or the properties of an element. Okay. And here are some, more attributes which is available in the documentation. So, and of course, I'm not going to cover all of them. I've already explained you some of them. And if you need more information, then you can go and check. The next topic that we are going to cover is the HTML entity references. We have the less than sign, greater than sign. They have specific meaning in the HTML language. Semicolon, ampersand sign, they have a specific. So they are having a specific meaning. If we want to display these characters inside the page, then it may create problems if we don't use we directly use them as the values. And for example, instead of less than sign, if we want to display it on the page, we use its code or the entity reference ampersand LT. Okay. And if we want to use the greater than sign, then use the ampersand GT. GT mean greater than, LT mean less than. And then if we want to use the ampersand, then you say ampersand AMP and semicolon. So rather than using directly them inside the strings that we want to display on the page, use these codes. Why? Example is here. For example, we want to display this thing. Don't be afraid of less than 100% success, greater than more, and greater than more. So we want to display this title on the page. But what we did, we use that these special characters directly inside the string value or as a contents of the h1. Then what is the problem here? The system will try to identify this part as a tag, and when it tried to identify as a tag, it could not identify it, could not understand it. It will just ignore it, and everything which is after it, again, it does not display the more as well. So it will just display the first part, and because it could not understand the second part, or it could not understand that less than or greater than sign and something, so it does not display on the page. But if we want to display them properly, then we need to use those entity references, and it will display the title as we want it on the page. Yes. So I mean, it is out of the tag, but system does not understand the Chrome. It's a so according to best understanding, it will try to display something. It only display me. Don't be afraid of. It does not display me the more as well. Okay. So if you want to display these characters on the special characters on the screen on the page, then we need to use the it's their alternatives like their codes or the entity references rather than directly using them in the HTML code. So here are some other. We have single quote, double quotes. Again, single quote, double quotes represents the string values. Ampersand, less than sign, greater than sign, copyright, vertical bar, empty space. Okay. Non-breaking space is something like which is the. I mean, of course, when we press a space bar, it is a space. Non-breaking space mean that if we put a non-breaking space between two words, for example, Abbas Malik, my name, and instead of putting a space, I say ampersand NBSP, non-breaking space, semicolon, and then I put a Malik, Abbas at the rate of NBSP, semicolon, and then Malik. Then what will happen? It is a possibility that my name comes at the edge of the screen. Yes, it is possible inside some text where you are writing. If I put simple space, then it is a possibility Abbas will come on one line and the Malik will go onto the second line. You understand? If I put a simple space. But if I put NBSP, non-breaking space, then it will make sure that Abbas Malik will come in the same line, either on the first one or either go in the second one, depending on the space available in the line. If it is coming at the edge of the screen. Is it clear? Do you understand? So NBSP is a non-breaking space. If you want that these three words, for example, the title of the a book, or title of a course, or name of a person, and then you don't want to separate these words on multiple lines, then you put the non-breaking space between them rather than simple space. Okay, so non-breaking space, make sure that these words in between you have put the non-breaking space, they come on the same line. They don't break between two lines. Okay. And again, we have other tags, formatting tags. So let's see one by one these tags. And so first one is a bold or strong. It is an inline tag. You know what is the difference between the inline and the block level. So it is an inline tag which make the text more bold. So this is a example, and this will be the output of that text. So if we have using the B tag and put some content inside it, they will become bold text. If we put a strong and then they will also become more or less the same. The default behavior for these two tags is the same. They will show you the bold text. Okay. And then next one is the italic and the emphasis. I tag and the EM tag. They both do by default turn that text into the italic form, and they are also both inline tags. Okay. Then we have a small and mark. Small mean that if you look at that output here, if I look this output here, you can see that it is a small text. Compared to the other text, this becomes a smaller text. And then if you say mark, mark means it will highlight that specific part of the page. Yes. No, it is not necessary inside the paragraph. I say these are the inline tags. Remember, the block level tags will reserve the whole width of the screen for themselves. They don't. They can you can put them into separately. Just put a B tag and put some context that will show up bold text. That bold text or the italic text comes inside the H1 tag or the paragraph tag or any other block level tag. Look, if you want that, you want to write a text, and among that text you want to make a small part as a bold, then definitely we need to put that whole text inside the paragraph, and then you can say that which part you want to make it bold, you put that part inside the B tag. But if you say that I want to display something on one line and it should be bold without containing that inside the paragraph, you can put a B, and then of course after that you need to put a BR tag so that it will go to the new line, and then you can write more inline element. But if you write after the B tag, you write a paragraph tag, paragraph automatically will go to the new line, because here you don't need to put a BR, because P is a block level tag. It say that yes, we have a space for the B tag, whatever. For example, you have written some hiding or something heading inside the using the B tag, but you did not enclose in any other tag. It's standalone tag. But after that, if you put a P, P say I'm a block level, I will go to the new line automatically. So you don't put a BR. You don't need to put a BR over there. Okay, did I answer your question? Okay. So similarly, we also have the other tags like we call the del and the insert. Delete, del mean deleting something. I mean, it will strike that text, that part that we want to delete that. And insert mean we want to insert a new in place of that deletion. So this is how they will give you the output: insert and delete. Then we also have the subscript and the superscripts. If you want to show some mathematical equations, or you want to show the chemical formulas, then you can show them like this: H2O, that is a chemical formula for the water, then 3x squared plus 4x raised to power 4, y raised to power 3. They are the example of the subscript and the superscript. Then again, we also have some other quotations and the citation tags. If you look at that, I have just put that block quote and then cite. Cite will mean that I am giving the exact reference from where this text is coming, and that it will be displayed in a more separately. They will leave some space from the left side and then make them a little bit highlighted. Okay. Then we also have a simple BQ tag. Again, there's a quote, and normally we use for this block quote for the larger amount of contents or the text. But if you have a very small one sentence, then or two sentences or small text, then we will use the Q tag, and then it will automatically enclose that quotation inside the double quotes. Look, you are saying that what is the difference if I can write that P tag into a all the quotation over there. But here, if you look at that, the property here, we have a site property. It means that we are also giving the reference from there where it is coming. But in the P, it is not there. So yeah, so we are trying to identify different type of the contents which normally exist inside, and then we can have we build the different tags for that, so that we can represent them inside the page properly, rather than we can use everything for the p tag and then change the properties or styles of that one. Okay. Then we also have the abbreviation. Abbreviation is more like WHO, World Health Organization, KSA, Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. So these are the abbreviations. So abbreviation, and then we also put a title. Title is something when we bring our cursor along on this, when we bring our cursor on that specific abbreviation, it automatically display a small tooltip below that or above that, depending on the situation. Okay, so title is being represented or shown on the page when you bring your cursor on it. Similarly, we have an address bar. Automatically address is something which is like the italic part, automatically make it italic. And then address mean, and then again, this address is also a semantic element. Why? Because it is telling us that this specific text is actually address of some place. So it also giving some meaning to that text as well. Then we have a site. Site mean that we are trying to represent the title of a book or the title of a painting or something that we are identifying. The Scream by Edward, painted in 1893. So this is also one of the example here. Then we have the video direction of. So we are changing the direction. If you look at the first text here, the first line of the text, it is in English sentence, but it is written from the right to left. The first letter, that is T, this text will be written from right to left, but it is written from the actually written from right to left. Okay, the first letter is the rightmost letter, and then so on. So again, here we are trying to convert the Arabic language, Jamia Mir Sultan, into the left to right. So again, Jeen is coming right in the beginning here. No, where is my text here? So Jim is coming. Jem Alif, Meme, Ain, Ha. Yeah, you know very well the Arabic language than me. So they are appear in the left and right. But these tags are important in the past when the browsers are does not support. They mainly support from left to right language. They does not support from the languages like Arabic or the Persian, which are right to left. So they don't support them properly. So then we need to use that. But right now, if I am using it, it actually does not make sense. But if I just say this is Jamia Mir Sultan University, it automatically know based on the Unicode or the what you can say that UTF-8 encoding which we are using here inside in our HTML pages, it automatically understand this text should be left to right, this text should be right to left. Automatically, it is showing me in a proper way rather than uh, show me that thing into the different way. So right now, these tags are more like obsolete. We don't need to use them, but yes, they are there. So if you want to play with the direction of the text, then you can do that. Any other question? Any questions so far? No question. So then remember, we have specified some colors when we are specifying the background colors or the text colors. So we specify those colors. So colors can be in a multiple way. We can represent them in the HTML code. The colors are important: text color, background color, border color, and so on. So can be specified using the name of the color. We can specify like red, green, blue, brown, orange, tomato, and so on. So there are 140 different standard colors has been with the name has been declared, and then you can directly use them. If you click on the link over there, it will take you to the complete list of those 140 colors. Okay. So this is a one way to represent the color. We also have the colors in a different way. For example, we are specifying the colors using the RGB, red, green, blue property. We need to give three numbers between 0 and 255, and then accordingly it will become a color. Okay, we also have using the name of the colors, again name of the colors, and that will be the output of the this one. Then we also have the colors for the text, background color, yes, but we also have color. If I just specify the color property, this means that we are talking about the content that we are display on the in that tag. So it is a text color rather than background color. And then we also have the border color. We can specify the border. We can draw the borders around every element that you see. It is actually a rectangle. If it is a box level, a block level element, it means that it will be covering the whole screen, and but it will still a rectangle on the screen on the page. If it is an inline element, it is a small rectangle, but still it is a rectangle. Okay, so we can draw the borders around it, and then we can give them border colors property as well. Okay, when we go to the styling, we will discuss it in more detail, but yeah. So we can specify the color values using the name: red, green, blue, black, orange, or you can specify the color using the RGB method. RGB is a method which take three parameters, three values, or three numbers as an input, and then it will give us a color back. So those three values represents the red, green, and blue values, and then these are the between 0 and 255. Then we also have the HSL. HSL is a huge hue, saturation, and the light. Okay, so there's another, just like the RGB, we have three values. We also have the HSL method, which also give me take three values as an input and give back the answer as a color. We can also specify these RGB values or the HSL values as a hexadecimal number. Okay, so we can specify those. These are the six hexadecimal numbers. Two for first two for the red, second two for the green, last three for the blue. Okay, red, green, blue, and then this will be started with a hash sign, and then you can give those numbers, and it will automatically translate it into a color by the system. So we can give the hexa values, RGB values, and HS value. In the latest systems, we also have the fourth parameter for the RGB and the HSL. We call them transparency, RGBA and HSLA. A is more like transparency, how transparent that it is. Just like our mirror is fully transparent, 100%. 100% mean that you will not see that color. But if you make it 60% transparent, then you can see that color. Still, you can see behind that thing. Okay, so that is more like transparency. So these are some examples that you can specify. In the first one, you can see that this is our RGB, three values, and they will translate into a color. Then we have the hexadecimal values. Again, hexadecimal start with the number sign or the hash sign, and then we are giving six hexadecimal numbers. Okay, so they will be translated into RGB value, and they will give us the color as well. And again, for the HSL, we are giving the 9, which is the hue, saturation, how much percentage, 100%, 50%, 70%, and then we have a light, which is also a percentage. And then we have the RGBA. The first three values are the same as RGB, but the last value is more like between 0 and 1, so that is more like a percentage. If I say 1 mean 100% transparent, 0.5 mean 50% transparent, 0.2 mean 20% transparent, 0.7 means 70% transparent. So that will give us the transparency part. And similarly for the HSLA, again the last part is a transparency parameter, and this will give me these kind of different type of the colors that we have. The colors are same. The only thing is that is difference is the transparency in the last two. Okay, is it clear? The next one is the hyperlink, and inside the hyperlink we can also specify the property title. And what it will do when I bring my cursor on that link, it will automatically pop up window, give me that title information as a open PSU website. So if you want to give some hint to the user, then you can write the title property inside the A tag. Is it clear? And then now we have seen the underscore blank. Remember that if we want to open the link into a new tab, then it will open in the, we specify the target is equal to underscore blank. Remember? Who remember that thing? Only one? Okay. Anyway, so we the default value is underscore self. It means the open the link inside the same window rather than doing anything else. Underscore blank is something opening the window into a new window or new tag or new tab. But if you look at the parent and underscore top, in the past we also have the frames. In the past we have frames, one frame, second frame, third frame. So inside the page we have frame one, frame 2 is on top, frame 3 is on top. When I say underscore parent, so it will remove the parent's frame 3, and on in the frame 2 it will open that window for me, open that link for me. So those frames has been obsolete now. We are nobody is using those frames things inside the HTML nowadays. So we can simply ignore these things, but yes, they are related to the previous technology that we have been using in the HTML. So underscore parent underscore top, on top of the current frame we want to open that link, or in the parent frame we want to open that link. So these are the things happen, but now mostly we are using the underscore self is something which is default value. Mostly we are using underscore blank. We want to open the link into a new window or new tab. Okay. And then again, absolute address. Remember, absolute address, it should have the HTTP colon slash slash. And if we miss the HTTP here, like it does not have the HTTP here, it will say no, I will not be able to open that link for you. So you have to provide the HTTP part as well, and that will become the absolute address, and then you will be able to open that link. Otherwise, it will not open. And then if you need more information, then you can click on the link, and then it will give you more information about that. The absolute address, HTTP, you need to specify, or HTTPS colon slash slash, the complete address of that resource that you want to access on the internet. Okay. Then we have the relative address. We also see some relative addressing in the last lecture when we are doing some practical examples. Okay. Why it is not disappearing? No. Anyway, we can do that. So hyperlink relative address. Relative address is from the current location of the file in which in which the user is currently in, where we want to go and which specific resource we want to access. So if I say that this is my file structure, my project which I opened, for example, week 3 or week 2 or whatever it is, over our website 1, for example. This is our complete files inside it. It contains the what we can say that it has the about me file. It has about me file in that folder, web folder or web project. Inside we also have a files folder. Inside the files folder we have a menu file, and then out in the main folder we also have a heading, we also have index file, and then inside we have files folder with which contain the menu.html file. We also have the images folder which does not contain anything right now, to be honest, and then we also have the lab 2 folder which contains these two files over there. So now we are currently inside the index file. So index file, the main page or the home page, it has been opened. And now I'm trying to access the headings.html, and headings.html is in the same folder. So I can just type headings.html. It will say in the current folder, find the headings.html and open it when I click on the headings link. And when I say menu, so what I'm saying here, inside the current folder, there is a folder name files. Go into that files folder and open the menu.html. Is it clear? So these are called the relative address. Based on the current position of that file, what other resources we want to access, and they relative to the current folder or the current position, we are giving the addresses. So we call them the relative addresses. Is it clear? So now another scenario which comes, or which you may see. For example, I am in this file. structure only after .html. I'm in this file. And now I want to access from this file menu.html file. Now they are in, we need to go out of the lab2 folder, go inside the files folder, and then access the menu. Then how we can do that? So we have this part, you know, we have a double dot, full stop, and slash. When I say full stop, I am going out of the current folder, one step above. So when I say this part, when I say this part here, this one, it bring me from this folder out in the main folder. And then I say go into the files. So it will go, once I have come out of this folder, it will go into the files, and then it will access the file which is inside the menu.html. If I want to access the indexed file, then I can simply write something like this: dot dot slash, and then I give the file name index.html. Come out of the folder, and in that folder we have index.html. Dot, two dots together. There's no space between that. If you want to go one more folder up, then you should dot slash dot slash. So you are going two steps above that current folder. Yes. C drive of the folder. I'm right now talking about the project. Yeah. It should be somewhere in your computer system, in your folder, in your file system. It will be somewhere. It could be a C drive, it could be a D drive, but of course they cannot split between two drives. In one drive, whatever it is, so it will be there. If we are talking about a Mac, then it will be on the Mac file system, but yeah, it is a folder in your file system. And now using the dot, we can go one further above. If you want to two folder above, or two steps above that folder, then dot dot slash. So again, dot will take you one folder above. After that, you put a slash, another two dots, one folder again above. Again, put dot. So dot always take you one step or above that folder. But of course, if you reach the root, then if you press dot, it will say where you want to go. There's no other place to go. Okay. But anyway, normally it is preferred you don't go out of your website project folder. Don't, because in this way you are actually violating the security of your system. So try to be stick to that folder after that, especially if you are what you get publishing your website on a web server. It will give you an error. You are not allowed to access outside of this folder, so definitely, but definitely it's always better that you keep in mind that remain in your project folder, don't go out. Because if you are doing some development inside your own machine, it could be because you are the administrator of your own machine, so you can go out, but it is not recommended that you go out of that folder. Remain inside that project folder where you are developing your website. Okay. But of course, using that dot, you can move around you can move folder above that one. And of course, if you want to go down, you can just write the name of the folder, and you can go there. For example, I am in the main folder, and then I have a folder files, and inside the folder files, we have a PDF. In the PDF, we have a personal. So we can say files, PDF, personal, slash, slash. So it will take down is okay. But when you want to go up, you put a dot sign to take you one step above that specific folder. Okay, then we have a relative address. We also use the relative address for the images. Again, the same rules apply, which we are using for the hyperlink. The same rules apply for the images as well. Dot as well if you want to go above the folder or something. Okay. So we also use the relative addresses. We can also make the images a hyperlink. You have already seen that thing, so I don't need to explain further. Then the other thing that is the mail to. Mail to mean that we, instead of href, we are specifying a mail to colon, and then we write down the email address. So what will happen when you click on the link send email, it will open any email provider, or for example Outlook or any other email handler which can handle the emails for you, which you have configured in your computer system, and then it will automatically open. It will put the to as this about a malik at psu.edu.sa, and then you can write the email, and then you can press on the send, so it will open up that email handler or email editor for you, and then put the email where to whom you want to send the email inside the two part, and then you can write the email, and then you can send that. So this is also possible inside the html. Buttons, we can also put a button. So button is a tag. On click, and here what we are doing here inside the on click event, we are saying that open that specific, again we are giving the absolute address, and then we want that open this page inside our browser. It is more like a hyperlink, but it is a button. Okay, and when you click on the button, it will open that page for you. Again, I'm writing a very small JavaScript code. Document dot location is equal to this. So document is represent in that window. Okay, we are changing the location. The document or the file that you have, or the HTML document that you have opened inside your browser, that is called document. Okay, and then we are saying document dot location. We want to change the location of that document, the source of that document. So it will open a new document, which is I have mentioned here. Okay, we also have some hyperlink colors. By default it is becomes blue and underline, and when you click on that, it will become a little bit purple and underline as well. So change the color. So it is say that when you just create a link, it will by default take the blue and underline color, but when you say color, when you have visited that site, so it will become a visited one. We have visited that page in the past, so the color will automatically change. And of course we can change this default behavior. How? Of course, using the styling, and this is the style. So I just represent a style inside the header part. Inside the header part, I create a style tag, and inside the style tag, I write down this element. So what it is saying that here, if you look at this, the first part, I am saying that a colon link. Whenever I am creating a link, make that green, make it a transparent, the background color, no color background, the color text color will be green, and no decoration. It means it will not be underlined. So when you create a link, automatically it become green rather than that blue underline. So I'm changing that default behavior. Then I'm saying visited. If I have visited that link, make that color, text color pink, no background color, and there is no decoration as well. But change the color from green to pink. And then I have the hover. Hover means when I bring my cursor on that link, make that color red, background color again nothing, or the transparent, and underline that specific. These slides are available. You don't need to take a picture. Okay. So hover means when you bring your cursor, change the color to red, make it underline, and there is again still no background color. And then we also have an active. Active means when you click on this, then this is an active. You did not release it yet. When you only just clicked and keep clicking, then you will be able to see that active color, and then color will be yellow, and then it will show the underline. And when you release it, now it will automatically open that link for you. If you want to see the active part, click and keep clicking, then you will see that active behavior. Okay, and then here's a small what you can say that video which show that these colors, as soon as I save the information and refresh my page, that color will become green. When I bring my cursor on it, it will become, when I go back, that color is not changing, but yeah, it should be like that visited part, the pink color. But I click on it and keep clicking rather than just release it, then you will show the active part as well. Any questions? No question. Again, bookmark. So using the hyperlink, we can also create the bookmark. Remember, in your book, you put a put something then where I left something, and then you can go to that page directly. So similarly, we can create if we have a very large page, it means it's very long page and we need to scroll up and down to read that, for example, an article. So you can also create the bookmarks. For example, we have a very long chapter, and in that chapter we have a section 1, section 2, section 3, section 4, section 5. So for all these sections we can make the bookmarks using the specific what you can say, the id property or id value. Okay, for example, first need to create a bookmark. Here I want to go, that page which you left, I want to go that page. You make a bookmark, you turn it to, you put some tag inside. Okay, so here you want to go. So first of all, you need to create that tag inside your html. For example, this h1 is our bookmark page and this is our section 1 heading. Section 1 heading, for example. Section 2 heading again. You now here, this is what you can say, that I'm say top of the page. So then you can also say that section 1. So you can say id is equal to, in the double quotes, section 1 article section 1, whatever name. This is a name, that this part is a name that you can specify. This part inside the double quotes, you need to specify that part, that name. You can select anything. Section 1 of article, section 2 of article, section 3 of article. For example, there's an important image that you want to show, then you can also make a bookmark for that important image. You can write any name, whatever you want, id, create that bookmark. Once you have created that bookmark, then the second element is that you need to create a hyperlink that will, when you click on that, that will take you to that bookmark. Okay, so here inside the href, rather than I specify the relative address or the absolute address, what I'm giving the what you can say, that hash sign and the name of the id. Here, this one, top of the page, and that should be exactly the same, including the capital and small letters. Understand? So what we are saying, first of all, inside the page, we create a bookmark up and down. And then at any other place, if we want to go to that place, then we create a hyperlink. And then when you click on that, it will automatically take you to that bookmark. So here's an example. I make a page which is more longer. And then at the end of the page, I put, at the start of the page here, I put a bookmark. And then at the end, I say go to the top. Okay, so I just create that bookmark for the page, and then at the end of the page, at the bottom, I create a link or hyperlink, and when I click on that, it will take me to the top of the page. So that is the bookmarking. Again, this is a very simple example, but definitely if we are talking about an article which contains the multiple sections and so on, so that will become more sensible, especially if you are creating for example, one page complete book. In the start, you take a table of contents, and the table of contents will take you chapter number 1, chapter number 2, chapter number 3, chapter 1 section 1, chapter 1 section 2. So you can just create the hyperlink at the start, which is the table of contents, and then at every place you put the what you can say, that bookmark using the id value. And when you click on the any link on the table of contents, it will take directly you to that section which you want to read. Okay, so let's finish our lecture at this point, and then uh, I think there are not much left, only 25 slides left in this lecture that will continue tomorrow. Any questions so far? No question? So let's stop that video. And one more thing, if you have not subscribed channel, please subscribe.